Hey yo, it's Retro. Welcome to another video. Y'all, this is a new series. This is a brand new series coming at you every 3 months. Yeah, every 3 months. Welcome to Retro's Quarterly Roundup. I am your host, Retro. This is a new series I wanted to start, basically kind of doing like a quarterly update on what I'm reading, what I'm looking forward to, overall like my thoughts on the state of comics. I was going to do monthly, but I thought that would be a little bit too much, a little bit too frequent. I wouldn't have enough like foresight or even like enough on my plate that I've read to kind of give you all like my true thoughts on what's going on in the comic world. By the time this even drops, there may have been another solicit drop, but please bear with me. I will like this. Look, I'm not going to have the March solicitations or the solicitations that come out for March. I'm not. If this comes out before, don't even worry about it. But I chose 3 months because I felt like it would give me enough time, right? I have the solicits are 3 months ahead, and we just had solicits like last week. So I would be able to tell you what I'm looking forward to in the next 3 months. And then in 3 months, I'd be able to tell you how I thought about them. It's kind of, it kind of works. So be on the lookout. Every 3 months, I will be doing a video about this. This one's probably dropping like the 3rd week of March, something like that. The next one, maybe the 1st week of the month. Who knows? It really just depends like how I schedule things and how I want things to fall. Sometimes it may just not happen where I do it the 1st of the month, or it may happen, who knows? Just, be along for the ride. Y'all like, subscribe. I'm very excited about this. I had this planned for a little bit now. Let's get into it. Let's talk about the current series I am reading right now, starting with DC. Let's go into the Absolute Universe. I am currently still reading Absolute Batman, Absolute Wonder Woman, and Absolute Superman. If you've been on my channel before, I absolutely did a review on Absolute Batman, and I also did one on Wonder Woman. I did not do one for the Absolute Superman. Now, my thoughts on Absolute Batman have not really changed. I think it's still a really good Batman story. I do like the different take. I do think issue 4 and 5 have kind of been a little bit more down than the first 3 issues, but it's still really good. Like, Nick Dragotta's art is amazing. Frank Martin's colors are amazing. Scott Snyder is a great Batman writer. It's a really great team. I have no doubt that this book in the end will probably be really good. I think right now it's Batman. Like, there is nothing that different. Let me not say there's nothing that different. I'll say that there are a lot of differences, but I don't think they're as significant as like Wonder Woman and Superman. The differences kind of shine a little bit more. I don't want to talk too much about Batman because it's Batman. You get it. Read it. It's a great book. Wonder Woman. I still freaking love this book. I even thought like, I love Kelly Thompson. I thought I was going to be a little bit more down on the series. And then issue 5 came out and I was like, never mind, I'm back. Like, it's just every month I just feel like maybe this book isn't as good. But then it's like, okay, I'm back. I was kind of hoping that issue 5 was going to be like a definitive end to the arc, because it does feel like issue number 1 through 5 they've happened within the same like 48 hours or something like that. I don't know, but it's still really good. I like how they're showcasing this Wonder Woman's character, this Wonder Woman's compassion. I like how this Wonder Woman is very similar to the original Wonder Woman, but I like how her origin, where she comes from, is very much important in the way that she operates as a superhero. I do like the aspect that she is very much in your face as a superhero. She is very famous. She is on TV and all that kind of stuff. I like it. I like it a lot. It's very good. It's very good. Cersei is a great addition to her cast. I love that she's a mother figure to Wonder Woman. It just works. It makes Wonder Woman use more witchcraft, and it's different. It's very different, but it's good. It's very good. I like this more than Batman. Now let's talk about Absolute Superman, because I have not been able to talk about it, and it pisses me off because it's so good. I think I like this the most out of all 3 books. It's a Superman book, but not in the way that Absolute Batman is a Batman book. And what do I mean by that? This exudes like the very essence of Superman, the fact that he is the champion of the oppressed, the fact that he instills hope. I think the last issue that I read, issue 4, I believe, he had a bunch of 9-panel grids for the first few pages that are just like showcasing the people that he has saved, talking to the military, the peacemakers. Specifically, I believe they were talking to Lois Lane. It's showcasing how they felt towards the peacemakers, how they felt so, hopeless, and they're not giving anything up on Superman, because now he's instilled hope in them. Now they feel like they have something worth fighting for. Now they know that their life is worth something because of Superman. It's great, dog. Like, Superman is portrayed so amazing. I love how Superman's mother is like a huge emphasis. She created the suit that he's wearing. Like, that's amazing. There was a little bit of a hint to to the Kents, and I'm kind of a little bit lost on it, but I believe like once we see more of it, I'll understand. But man, Jason Aaron, dog, like people were counting you out. I didn't. I definitely knew, I had a feeling Absolute Superman would be really good. I know a lot of people were down on Jason Aaron's what was it, Avengers? A lot of people were down on Jason Aaron's Avengers run, and I didn't care. Like, he didn't do me wrong with Thor, and that was longer than his Avengers run, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people liked the Punisher run, or like, you know, reasonable people did, but whatever. This is good, man. This is really good stuff. Like, this is really good Superman comics, and it's so different though. It's so different. This taking place in Brazil kind of puts like a completely different lens on it. Like, yeah, there are people who are oppressed in America, absolutely. But in a place like Brazil, where it's primarily like a dictatorship and all that kind of stuff, where like the government is extremely corrupt, awesome work. I do wish Rafael Albuquerque was definitely doing art still, but you know, Rafa Sandoval, he gets the job done. It's very pretty art. It's very pretty. It's very action packed, and he's consistent. I'm pretty sure Rafa will be able to sustain the length of an ongoing, and I hope he does. I like when comics are able to keep the artists that are on there throughout the entirety of the run. Absolute Batman did have a different artist. Not a bad one, absolutely. It probably was intentional because it was like Absolute Batman year 1 issue, but I want all of these books to kind of have like the same creative team until they practically end. I think that will make these books a lot more evergreen, and Jason Aaron is doing an amazing job. I love Absolute Superman the most out of all 3 of these books. At the time of this recording, only these 3 have come out. Issue 5 of Absolute Batman and Absolute Wonder Woman, and I believe issue 4 of Absolute Superman are the only comics that have come out from the Absolute universe. I will talk about the rest later in the video. Absolute Martian Manhunter, Absolute Green Lantern, and Absolute Flash. I am extremely excited for those comics, but they have not come out yet. We've just seen previews and all that kind of stuff, so it's a wait game. Another series I am absolutely loving is Black Lightning, and Lord have mercy, this series actually made me go back and read old Black Lightning comics. Brandon Thomas, Baiko Osio, y'all are killing it. I love Black Lightning. The emphasis on family is amazing. I am just saddened that it's a mini series. Like, it's only 5 issues, and that sucks, man. I did talk about the DC All In a previous video, kind of like my first impressions on everything that's going on, what's coming, and that kind of did spark this video. But I did talk about how frustrated I am with the fact that Black Lightning is a mini series, and is seemingly one of the only mini series that is coming out from DC. And while it's not the only mini series, it is very alarming that the only comic written by a black man and featuring black characters is only a miniseries. That's fucked up, man. That's fucked up. But for what we have right now, I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it. I hope there's another series. I hope there's a sequel. Please let there be a sequel. There's also Nightwing, and I've talked about it. I talked about the first issue of Dan Watters' run. I love this series, man. Like, Nightwing is back. Nightwing is back, and that's all I have to say, because yeah, Nightwing is fucking back. He is just, this is the makings of a great Nightwing run. I hope it continues for as long as Dan Watters wants to write it. This is just perfect. This is just perfect characterization for the character. Nightwing and Barbara in this story are very good. I love their romance. She is not treated as an accessory, but I do love the fact that she's not like, well, I don't love the fact that she's not so prominent, but I am not mad at the fact that she's not like so in your face like every single issue, because like that was my problem with the previous Nightwing run. Barbara was in every single issue basically, and she had almost nothing to do. She had barely any bearing on the story. And this one, like, she actually has stuff to do. She is helping Nightwing solve a lot of this crime that's going on, this gang war that's going on in Bloodhaven. It's so good, man. It's so fucking good. I'm stunned. Not really stunned. Like, I knew Dan Watters would be really good on this title. He was my pick. He was my pick for Nightwing for years now. I'm just excited. I'm just reveling in the fact that like there is a Nightwing run that I can read and that I can enjoy. I'm just happy, man. Like every issue, like I am running to read it and I leave it like with a smile, because I'm like, he's back, man. He's back. I really love it. I really love it. You also have New Gods, and listen, Ram V, Evan Cagle, and the backup artists that are in there to kind of fill in like the chronicling of what's going on. Last issue we had Riccardo Federici. First issue we had Carmine Di Gianamico. This is the best, I mean it, this is the best comic coming out from both Marvel and DC, period. Ram V is really like pushing an epic narrative for the New Gods, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm not the biggest New Gods fan. I read New Gods by Jack Kirby, and not that I didn't like it, I just think that like it did not gravitate towards me. I know there are a lot of people who are fans of New Gods, they love it, and like more power to y'all. I'm glad that y'all love it. It was the original New Gods is a great series, perfectly showcases Jack Kirby's like insane, you know, his insane imagination, his creativity. God rest his soul. He is one of the legends for a reason. He's one of the greatest comic creators ever, period, for a reason. But I've never been like a big super fan of the New Gods. I think it's a very interesting concept in DC, and Ram V is, outside of Jack Kirby, the only person to make me care about this, you know, side of DC, and it's dope. It's so dope. Like, this series is dope. I love the way Ram V is kind of chronicling the story, kind of making the series be like a lot more different than a lot more different than like the things that he's done in DC. He's really doing the heavy lifting for the major universe of DC post DC All In. Someone got to get him some goddamn help, because Justice League should be doing the same thing. And it's not, but whatever. Yeah, he's doing an amazing job. Ram V, as always, is doing an amazing job. One of my favorite writers right now. Ragnarok for the New Gods. So interesting. I love it. Evan Cagel's art is gorgeous. I love the way he draws people. I love the way he presents comics. Match made in heaven. If you are a New Gods fan, like, I'm so happy for you, because I am reading this as well, and I am extremely happy. This series is just bonkers. It's extremely high fantasy, high science fiction. Like, you need to read this. You need to read each issue like 3, 4, 5 times, maybe, just to really understand it. I did. Not that I didn't understand. Like, first read is just like enjoying like what's going on. Second, third read is really trying to like dissect what's going on. Great series. You also have Green Arrow, which is written by Chris Condon and drawn by Montos and colored by Adriano Lucas. This is the best Green Arrow run since Kevin Smith. This is the most interesting Green Arrow run since Kevin Smith. It's grounded, it's street level, it's dealing with Oliver Queen's misgivings, his sins basically, but not in a very stereotypical way. Like, it is showing like how fallible Oliver Queen is and how much he wants to, like, you know, kind of rectify that stuff when he was mayor of the town, when he was mayor of Star City, and fucked it over. Basically, it's basically about this brand new community that had the water contaminated and was messing with a lot of these people's kids, like as they grow up, and also the people that live there. Very interesting. I do hope that the villain is not a victim. You know, I do hope that the victim isn't like portrayed in a bad light. I think that there are stories that kind of fall into that trapping where there is a victim who just wants it out for the people who, you know, fuck them over, and as they absolutely should, but there is a way to kind of portray that so they don't look evil or they don't look like a bad person. Making them a serial killer is kind of messed up, but I would like for a victim to kind of like dismantle or try to dismantle or just like fuck with the government or something like that, or the mayor or whatever. Like, I would hope that like the serial killer is not a victim. But yeah, great comic. One of the best DC comics coming out right now. I am going to preface, I didn't say this in the beginning, but I am not reading everything. I don't read everything. I don't even try to read everything, because I will absolutely go insane. I have a life, I have a 9 to 5. I have to have some time to myself as well. Like, I'm not just gonna sit there reading a bunch of comics every single week. No, I gotta take some time to myself, okay? All right, so the comics that I'm listing off today, these are just the comics I am reading. I do give a lot of comics a chance, and if they are just simply not jiving with me, I don't read it, I drop it, I'm never touching it again. Like Justice League Unlimited, like Batman Superman World's Finest, I'm not reading those. Like, I did say this before in my Superman video, I did read Joshua Williamson's Superman run. I'm not a big fan of it, so I'm not reading it anymore. So yeah, that's it for Green Arrow though. I like, great comic. Another series that I'm not really reading concurrently, but I will read it when it's over, Justice League The Atom Project, and I probably will do a video on it. We'll see. Justice League The Atom Project by John Ridley, Ryan Parrott, Mike Perkins, and Mike Spicer. Like, it is a book basically where the atoms are trying to control the powers that have been out of whack since Absolute Power. I read the first issue. I was extremely interested. I will read it when it's over. And I think that there is a real place for a story like this, because Absolute Power kind of just ended and DC All In was like, all right, let's keep it going. Let's not talk about the fact that all these people have different powers. Like, it just screams Joshua Williamson and Mark Waid comics, and I was kind of like disappointed in that. Black Lightning does deal with a little bit of that. It more so deals with the people who did not have powers gaining powers now, and they're kind of all out of whack. They're kind of uncontrollable. I like that a lot. In Black Lightning, Atom Project is more so dealing with more of that, dealing with the fact that there are all of these people who, you know, swap powers, or Captain Atom can, like, he can just like absorb and like take powers from people. That first issue was really good. I'm gonna wait until it's over, just because it was like one of those comics where it was one, I had to pick one to drop, and that was the one to drop. Not because it's bad, but just because I need some time to myself, like I said. Okay, all right, let's keep it moving. That's DC. That's most of DC. That's all the comics that I'm reading right now from DC. Let's move on to Marvel now. You have One World Under Doom, the big comic event that's going on right now, written by Ryan North and drawn by RB Silva. I wasn't amazed by this issue. I know when it dropped, a lot of people were. I know when it dropped, people enjoyed it a fair bit. I read it and I was kind of confused, because a lot of people were just written kind of like caricature-y. Like, they were written kind of like, the characters were written the way like you expect an MCU movie to be written, like the meme where they're like, oh, he's behind me, isn't he? Like, stuff like that. Like, and they didn't say that specifically, but it was like, I don't know, the dialogue was just kind of weird. I like the premise. I do like the premise of, you know, Doctor Doom being like being Sorcerer Supreme and giving everyone universal healthcare, but there is a problem, because like, okay, we have a universal dictator and he's giving everyone good shit and he's giving everyone free rights. Does that really mean that it's all good? Because like, look, we've seen this all before, and will it actually interrogate those stuff? We'll see. Ryan North is a good comic writer. I like his Fantastic Four. It's good. It's very good. If you are a Fantastic Four fan or want to know more about the Fantastic Four, I always say, if you just read Ryan North's run, because it's the most balanced run. Everybody is written very well, but I don't think it's anything amazing. That's just me. I think it's one of those things where it's like, okay, like, yes, it's great that all these characters actually have something to do every single issue, like Sue Storm, like Johnny Storm. They're all just not like archetypes, like they are genuinely like characters. And I feel like a lot of writers in the past have kind of fallen into the trappings of archetypes for all of these characters. They have some real depth to them. Ryan North brings that out, but I don't think the story is anything spectacular, anything to write home about. I think it's good. One World Under Doom is, the premise is good. The dialogue is very much a kind of a miss. Maybe it's just me. It's probably just me, and that's okay. I don't care. But yeah, that's One World Under Doom. There are a lot of tie-ins into this event. I probably won't be reading many of them, except for like Doom Academy, because I miss my Strange Academy kids. Like, they were amazing. I love a good like magic school, like, you know, it's that, but a little bit better. Doom Academy just takes place during that time. Zoe looks to be the main character of that series, so very much looking forward to that. You also have The Avengers by Jed MacKay, Fareed Karami, and I believe Valerio Schiti is still writing some of it, or CF Villa, one of them. It's still good. It's still good. I talked about it in my retro ramble, where I'm gonna have it linked above, but I talked about it in that video where I talked about like the Marvel shakeup right now. Jed MacKay's Avengers is good. Black Cat and Kang the Conqueror having like this universal heist, dope. I am sorely missing Black Panther. I did see somewhere that apparently Jed MacKay really wanted to use Black Panther, but there was some like editorial interference that made him not use Black Panther the way he wanted to, or as much as he wanted to. Avengers number 18 was still a phenomenal issue. I believe there's going to be like a Sam Wilson dedicated like issue. Very much looking forward to that, because he's awesome as Captain America. Great. It's great. It's Avengers. Like, it's a great book. Then you have Storm by Muriwa Ayodele and Lucas Wernick, and also Lucio Vecchio. If I butchered that name, please, either of these names, please forgive me. Storm is awesome. It's really like a mythological take on Storm as a character, taking her through all these trials and tribulations. We just revealed like Eternal Storm recently. The writer Ayodele kind of explained that Eternal Storm is like the Hulk, like the Hulk to Bruce Banner. So Eternal Storm to Storm is, you know, that kind of situation where it's like a different like being after she died, and I believe Eternity or Oblivion brought it out of her. One of those, I cannot remember. Please don't kill me right now. Like, I make notes, but I don't notate everything, so please. But yeah, one of those things where like he brought it out of her. She just had a face down with a bunch of Doom bots, and it took the actual storm to bring Eternal Storm down. It's phenomenal. Like, this is the greatest writing for Storm. It shows how powerful she is, but it also shows how vulnerable she is. It clashes those two together to bring something beautiful, and it's amazing. Lucas Wernick's art is amazing. It's gorgeous. I'm very much looking forward to Lucio Vecchio's art because he's also amazing as well. And I saw the preview for the next issue, and I just can't wait. I can't wait for it. At the time of this recording, Storm number 6 has not come out yet, so I have not read it. But by the time this comes out, I would have read it. So if you spoil number 6, don't worry about it, but it's okay. I'm also reading Moon Knight Fist of Khonshu. Man, I have a big hot take on this series, and it is that Dev Pramanik is the better artist on this series. Alessandro Cappuccio is amazing, but Dev Pramanik is next level. I love the way he works his panels. His art style is a little bit more stylistic. It's not your conventional looking like comic book, but like, it's good. It's so good. I love how Reese like has locks, and they're like pretty long locks. It's, you know, it's nice. It's nice seeing that kind of stuff. Gemma K is just writing like a saga of Moon Knight, and it's amazing. It's just the greatest thing ever. I don't know how long it's gonna be. This has become a little bit more street level at first, and then it kind of got more supernatural, and now it's like a little bit more high fantasy up there, where the main guy that he's fighting is an Aesir god, which is dope. Very dope. I love it. I love it. Yeah, Jen McKay and Dev Pramanik are making some magic. I love Fist of Khonshu. I think if anybody was going to take up the reins from Alessandro Cappuccio, it would be Dev Pramanik. He does amazing work. Great artist. Very, very much. The way he makes panels, and like, he is an artist that really plays with the page. That's the best way I can explain it, and I will show it as well. He plays with the page, and that's what makes comics a little bit more interesting. I like this. I like this a lot. As of this recording, I am not reading Iron Man anymore. Spencer Ackerman is a good writer, and I think Iron Man is good. I think the book is good. I think when it's all said and done, it will be good. I just have a big problem with the art, and I know a lot of times like art should not determine whether or not you should read a comic, but I'm gonna be real. Comics are, it's supposed to be a marriage between writing and art. Those two are supposed to work together. And there are obviously times where, like, you know, the scheduling can hurt an artist, and it's unfortunate that Julius Ota cannot be on Iron Man consistently, but it's not his fault. I'm gonna be real. The colorist is just not the best for this book. Alex Sinclair, a legend in the game, his colors are just very dull. I like the last issue, Javier Pina was the backup artist, and look, it's been 4 issues, and Julius Ota, I believe, has drawn like 2 issues consistently, 2 or 3 issues consistently. That's a problem. I wish he had a little bit more time. I would have liked to see a full arc of just Spencer Ackerman and Julius Ota with a different colorist. I would have liked a different colorist, but you know, it is very unfortunate that like the art is kind of just suffering. Spencer Ackerman has a very rough go at it for his first like comic book. He's making a very like prototypical Iron Man story, and I think it's really good. There is a lot of commentary on capitalism and consumerism. It's unfortunate, but I will say this, I am looking forward to his next outing. Whatever he does after this, I am going to be all over, because I know he has the writing chops. I genuinely do. But this is kind of like, it's not bad. The Iron Man is not a bad book. It's just not like connecting with me completely, and that's sad. It's unfortunate because I think it could have. It really could have. Next, let's move on to All New Venom, which is like, I'm gonna be honest, I love this book. I really love this book. All of the haters, all of the Paul haters, this book went from being a good Venom book to being the best thing coming out of Marvel. No, I'm kidding. It's not, it really isn't, but like, I'm trolling a little bit. The reason is just because like, it's so clear who this new Venom is, and by the time this comes out, by the time this video comes out, I believe we would know. Not entirely sure, I don't remember, but I think everybody has guessed it. And I remember when it has kind of been, it was basically like confirmed who this new Venom would be, everybody was pissed off. and I was so happy just because like it's funny. I remember when All New Venom 1 came out and everybody was clapping because Paul and MJ's like relationship was crumbling. I fucking won. I won so hard. All New Venom is fun. It's really good. It's like, you know, it's back to street level stuff. It's dealing with AIM. It's dealing with Madam Mask. It's you know, Dylan trying to figure out who is this new Venom. He has some suspects. I'm pretty sure all 4 are just red herrings and the real one is Paul, and if it is, I am actually very happy about that just because it's fun. Like, I think like it's one of those things where people are gonna be mad just because like, oh my god, like you're using this character that we all hate, but it's like, man, like, okay, make this character actually someone that we want to enjoy. And I think like he's a very compelling Venom. I don't know if he is talking all the time. I don't know if he's like the driving force behind Venom the entire time, but I will say that like people were enjoying him as a character. And if that is mostly him, or if that is like half him and half Venom, I think that's good. You know, some of the best things that happen in comics is take things that don't work and then make it work. Like, I love when that happens, you know, making stuff in canon that really shouldn't have worked, but it does because like a writer came along who was good enough to make it work. All New Venom is fun. It's not as good as Al Ewing and Ram V's initial run of Venom. I think up until Venom War, up until that, Venom was amazing, but then that event kind of just I hated Venom War just because it was just King in Black Part 2 or King of Black 2.0. Like, it was just the same thing. Like, the event was the same thing. Who was gonna be the new Venom, and then Venom gets like this power up and then beats up the villain. Like, that's just King in Black. The only difference is that it wasn't widespread. It wasn't like a earthly disaster or earthly, like, you know, event, whatever. Like, it is what it is. Next, I'm gonna talk about like the X-Men comics that I am reading. Really, it's just X-Men and Exceptional X-Men. I am reading Mystique. I haven't finished it, but I am going to finish it. But what I did read, excellent work. Sentinels as well. I haven't finished it. I think I'm just missing the last issue. Another one, Alex Pagnato, amazing work. Justin Mason, amazing work. Outside of that, I have heard that X-Force is ending. There was another book, but then also there was another book, but I also think like X-Factor is ending as well. People were celebrating that. I don't think that's anything to celebrate. A comic book canceling isn't like time to just like celebrate just because your favorite thing isn't running anymore. We all loved Krakoa. It's time to move on. That's just my perspective on it. I think that Jed MacKay and Eva Ewing are still like producing some very interesting comics, some very worth reading comics. Some of the best comics coming out right now are X-Men and Exceptional X-Men, especially Exceptional X-Men. I see you, Mr. Sinister, and Eva Ewing. You're doing the damn thing. My favorite villain in my favorite X-Men comic right now. Some people are tired of him. I will never be tired of seeing Mr. Sinister. He is evil as hell, and I love that. Not a lot of villains are just fucking evil, man. And I want more of that. I like it. I like Mr. Sinister. I love Mr. Sinister as a villain. He's one of my favorite, probably my favorite X-Men villain. I don't really count Magneto anymore, but if Magneto's Magneto, then him. But yeah, Exceptional X-Men is great. All the new mutants in that book are exceptional. I love Tristy especially. She is an amazing character. She is like such a lovable character. That's niece right there, bro. That's my niece. And Evo Ewing's doing the damn thing. I love this take. I love the fact that Kitty Pryde is kind of doing for these mutants what she wanted for herself. I love that Emma Frost is also involved, and I love that Emma isn't able to provide completely for these mutants because they just don't feel comfortable. I've been saying Tristy this whole time. I meant Trista. Axel, Trista, and Tao are just like, don't worry about it, Emma. Save your money, basically. And it's dope. I love these new mutants. Alex, Trista, and Tao are just amazing additions to this cast, to this, world of mutants, and I love it. I am thoroughly enjoying Exceptional X-Men. Jesus Christ, I've been needing to drink this whole video. Hold on. X-Men is just great. I have nothing to say about Jed MacKay's X-Men. It's just great. Cyclops is Cyclops. He's being a generational revolutionary, and I love it. The conflict with the government ONE is beautiful as well. Like, it's just great. Is it Krakoa? Is it Krakoan X-Men like great? No. but also like not many series in the Krakoa era were that great anyway. So it's like, let's not pick and choose, people. Let's not pick and choose. Okay. I also have like X-Men, X-Manhunt is coming up soon. I don't really have much to say about this event coming out. I know that like Charles Xavier is going to be at the center of it. I'm not reading most of the other X-Men books, so I don't really care too much, but I am mostly interested because Jed McKay and Mario Iodeli are spearheading it. So that's interesting. I am very much looking forward to how they spearhead this event, how it like shapes. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm here for it. I'm definitely here for it. You also have the Ultimate Universe, and I will link that as well up here. Again, basically my review on the first year of the Ultimate Universe. I made a video on that. In there, I also said that I am only reading basically the Ultimates and Ultimate Black Panther at this point. Ultimate Black Panther, I will talk about in another video. However, the last issue number 12, I don't know if issue 13 will be out by the time I put this video out, but for the time being, issue number 12, we are cooking with fire, bro. We are absolutely on an upward trend. If the first year of Ultimate Black Panther was up and down, I do feel that way, but like, again, I will talk about that in another video. It feels like this is we are starting off on a fantastic note, and every single solicit since that we've seen for the upcoming issues seems like we in a good place. Seems like we're in a good place. I have always believed in Brian Edward Hill. I do think that the first year was a little bit tumultuous as well, but we're moving up. And I'm looking forward to this next arc. I think this next arc will be where it really does shine. And then the Ultimates, it's amazing, it's phenomenal. If you haven't heard me say it, if you haven't heard anybody say it, read it. Just read it 5, 6, 7 times. I don't care. Read it. It's the best Marvel comic coming out right now. And then I kind of want to like shed light on, in the theme of Retro's quarterly roundup, I also like want to talk about what I'm reading right now, just like on the side, outside of like monthly comics. I have started reading this new webtoon called High Spirits Neoma, which is kind of like Jujutsu Kaisen, but not really. You can tell there's a lot of Jujutsu Kaisen influence in here. I wouldn't be surprised if the writer and artist were inspired by it, like, and that's okay. It's really good though. It's really good. It's about this black girl who comes from a line of exorcists, and she comes to a new city, and she is, it's about her adventures as this new girl in a new town, and it's good. It's really good. It's very refreshing as a story too. It's not like action-packed yet. I'm just loving it. It's a joy to read every issue. I'm also reading Black Lightning by Jenny Blake Isabella. I am reading both her first initial run and also her second run in the 90s, the Brick City Blues series. I'm reading both. I am planning a video on Brick City Blues. I cannot wait for y'all to see that one, but it's more so a tribute to Jenny Blake, because she's awesome for creating a character like Black Lightning and doing it so gracefully. It just feels respectful, and it's refreshing to see. Not a lot of comics look like this. Not a lot of comics about black characters written by white people are written like this, and she did an amazing job. And I'm also reading Hardware by Dwayne McDuffie. I read up to like issue 25 of Hardware. Amazing. I talked about it before. That series is amazing, and this section is just letting you kind of in on what I'm reading right now. In 3 months it'll definitely be different. All right, now we have upcoming series that I'm really looking forward to. I talked about it earlier, but I was leaving it for here. Absolute Green Lantern by Al Ewing and Janoy Lidsey. I am so excited for this series. At the time of this recording, it has not come out. I think we've seen some previews, some like black and whites previews from, I think there was like a con going on. DC and Marvel showed up and they announced some new stuff, and they showed some previews for upcoming series, and I'm still excited for this. Nothing to really go off yet. I am very interested in the Joe Mulane and Hal Jordan dynamic that's going to go on in the series. I do hope Jon Stewart is a huge like factor in the series. I made a video, watch it please, but I do hope so. If not, like Joe Mulane and Hal Jordan dichotomy, that is interesting. It'll probably resemble the Steve Englehart stuff, where Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart were like the main Green Lanterns at the time. You also have Resurrection Man Quantum Karma by Ram V, Butch Geis, and Anand Radhakrishnan. I'm sorry if I butchered your name, please forgive me. It's a Ram V comic. I'm looking forward to it. I love everything Ram V. There has not been a single series written by Ram V that I have not loved, so I am looking forward to this. That's it. I don't know anything about Resurrection Man. I've read a lot of comics. There are some that I have missed. I may read it before this comic comes out, but we'll see. And then you have Summer of Superman, more specifically Superman Unlimited by Dan Slott and Raphael Albuquerque. This is the Superman comic I have been waiting for. I have been waiting for this forever. Action Comics has kind of been up and down with this whole like Superstars initiative that they've been doing. Superman by Joshua Williamson and Dan Mora is very boring. I don't care. It's not the best thing ever. It looks beautiful. It's boring. I read up until like issue 22 or something like that, up until like before February's issue. I did not read February's issue. It's an okay comic. It's very passable. Joshua Williamson calls it a romance comic. It's not. It tries to be. It could be, but it's missing something. It's missing the actual romance. Superman Unlimited though, by Dan Slott. A lot of people hate Dan Slott. I don't care. I'm a big fan of Dan Slott. I think a lot of times he's a lot better than he is bad. His bad is pretty bad, but his good is really fucking good. I'm looking forward to the series. I know absolutely nothing except for the fact that Raphael Albuquerque is drawing it, and I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be dope for sure. It's gonna be dope. You also have Supergirl by Sophie Campbell that's also coming out as part of this like Summer of Superman like event / initiative. That's gonna be interesting. The new design for Supergirl is kind of like okay, but Sophie Campbell, writer and artist of TMNT for like I think it was like 70 issues. That's a huge pick. I am very interested to see like how this story is going to shape. I'm just looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it, really. I was a bigger fan of Supergirl's costume at the end of Woman of Tomorrow, but this new one, maybe it'll grow on me, maybe it won't. It's okay as long as it's written well. It's written well and it's probably going to look gorgeous. Now the last three, I saved these last three for the end just because these are the biggest ones. Batman by Matt Fraction, Jorge Jimenez. Dog, like dream like writer to write Batman. I've been wanting a more interesting writer to take over the title of Batman. This comes with the relaunch. This comes with a new design. This comes with Gotham looking completely different, and overall, like, I am just extremely excited for this. Chip Zdarsky had a really decent, he had a good Batman run. I'm gonna talk about that in another video, but he did have a good Batman run. But I do feel like the last couple years of Batman has been kind of up and down. It hasn't been the best. Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo are still the best in the last like 10 years to 20 years now. Jesus, almost 20 years. Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo are still the best Batman, teams since then, basically. Tom King had some highs, he had a lot of lows. Some of his stories are some of the best Batman stories in the last 20 years, but some of his are also some of the worst. So you have like here and there. I do think Chip Zdarsky's saga was a little bit more cohesive, but Matt Fraction taking over the title, that's a perfect writer to take over that title. I am ecstatic for that team. You also have Chip Zdarsky and Valerio Schiti taking over Captain America. That is a team. That's a team for Captain America. J. Michael Straczynski, I have not read his Captain America at the time of this recording. I will read it, but I remember reading the first issue. I thought it was very interesting. I saw what JMS was going for, but it wasn't something that I was like, I need to read right now. Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly's Captain America run with Carmen Carnetto was also really good as well. That was a great Captain America run. I think Chip Zdarsky and Valerio Schiti it's gearing up to be one of the better Captain America runs in the last, since like probably Brubaker. Yeah, very excited about that. Those two are like two of the biggest announcements that have come out in the last like month, basically. Huge news. You also have Imperial by Jonathan Hickman, which seems to be a Nova story, and I don't know what the fuck it's supposed to be yet, but I guess we will see. I am hoping it's Jonathan Hickman's like Shi'ar Empire Royal Guard pitch, but like rework. I hope Roberto da Costa is in there. I hope Cannonball is also in there. My expectations are kind of tame right now just because we don't know anything. It's Jonathan Hickman. I'm sure it's gonna be awesome, but we don't know a damn thing basically. But I'm interested. My interest is peaked, but we know nothing. It's supposed to be coming out in the summer, so we'll see. That has been Retro's Quarterly Roundup. I am your host, Retro. Like, subscribe. Let me know all of the comics that you guys are reading right now, all of the comics that you guys are looking forward to. Let me know anything, what comics that are coming out that you're not reading but do want to read, all of it. Let me know in the comment section below. This kind of like, I want this to be like a discussion in the comment section. This is really what I wanted to do for the channel, something to like just talk about stuff that like I'm reading, and like just overall comics. I am, you know, want like a little update, because I don't necessarily talk a lot about a lot of the comics that I'm reading currently or ongoing or anything like that. So if I don't have time to make a video for it, I just kind of just don't talk about it. But yeah, that's the video. That's my roundup. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Like, subscribe. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.